Good morning, everybody. It's kind of rare for you to get a video from me 2 days in a row, but I'm trying to, as I said yesterday, play catch up and also get a little bit ahead since I'm going to Massachusetts tomorrow with kids. So I just finished reading all of the week one discussion postings from your class, and you all made a lot of great points as you reflected on our first readings. I feel like you got the main ideas that were presented by Renzulli and Callahan and Birch. So assessment really is only the first step. It should not be the end of the process, as you figured out. If we're going to assess and identify, it should be for the goal of educating, better educating. One of you asked, gosh, are these old articles, and is there one test score that's used to identify kids for gifted programs? Is that still being used anywhere? It is in Louisiana. So in Georgia, we're very fortunate to use multiple criteria, and we'll be learning all about that in this course in order to identify students for gifted programs. In Louisiana, that's one of several states that still uses primarily an IQ score to identify kids for gifted programming. Gifted education falls under special education in Louisiana, and there are some pros and cons to that. The main con in my mind is that you really don't capture many students. So many go unidentified and are not served in the gifted program in Louisiana. And you're only really capturing one type of giftedness with that test. So that's definitely a drawback. So let's see what else. Another point that several of you brought up is that twice exceptional students are often missed. Either they're never referred, and by twice exceptional, I mean kids who might have a learning disability or attention deficit disorder. They've been identified for some weakness, and then we focus our energy on that weakness and in meeting the needs that have been identified associated with that weakness, but we aren't attending to possible gifts. And so many kids are twice exceptional. Yes, they might have some challenge, as do we all, but they also have great strengths. I loved reading about, I think it was called Eagle Time. One of you posted about that you've got time set up in each week where all students can pursue interest-based classes. It sounds very much like Renzulli's enrichment clusters that you probably learned about in your first course. But that's a great idea. I mean, we want to identify gifts and talents and weaknesses and interests, and then tap into those interests as much as we can in order to fully develop strengths and to help strengthen any areas of weakness. So we're never going to be able to individualize instruction for every student. I mean, that's the goal, but I've never figured out how to do it in 27 years. It's so hard. But we can do it to some degree with every student if we collect information at the beginning of the year about interests, strengths, and weaknesses, and then we try to tap into those interests as much as we can in order to help develop the whole child. And whether we identify or not for gifted programs, all students deserve to be challenged every day, not just on Wednesdays, or not just 1 hour of the day, 5 days a week. No matter whether you're identified or not, every child needs to be challenged in every area all the time. That's the ideal. And, in many states, gifted education it's not funded, it's not mandated, and that has come out of the whole elitist argument. There are winners and losers. You're in or you're not. It's kind of this country club mentality, and the gifted kids get paraded down the hall to their gifted class, and so many people feel like it's not fair. And so sometimes that's led to in years in our country's history of there not being gifted programming. That's a shame, even though I don't think we do a great job in many cases with gifted programs. Um, but if you don't have gifted programming in a state, so many times that gifted kids aren't getting what they need. Gifted programs are not perfect, that's for sure. But if you don't have them at all, oftentimes gifted kids are not challenged. So it's so tricky, and we'll keep, delving into this in this course and in the third course if you take the third one. But we need to do a better job of helping children to see that it's kind of like the square peg in the round hole. I mean, every child, whether identified gifted or not, needs different things. And if we can help children understand that, yes, some kids are going to go down the hall to room 6 for part of the week, some kids are going to go to room 13, and some kids are going to stay here in an effort to help every one of you get what you need. And it's going to be different for all of us. And but maybe not call it, they're in the gifted program and you're not. They're the winners, you're the losers. I mean, we want to step away from that and help children. And gosh, I think those are the main points for this week. And I'm going to be looking at your discussion postings for week 2 this afternoon and trying to respond to those that you have already posted. Please remember that when you do your discussion postings, and most of you did a great job with this first week, you need to really tie your reflections, your opinions to the readings and cite the readings. Again, most of you did a great job with that, but make sure. I was kind of lenient with a few of you who didn't really do that, but I'm going to have to crack down in week 2. So make sure you do that. If you're not sure, look back at the posted information about how to get full credit for your discussion postings. And also remember that you need to respond to at least 2 peers' postings. So you need to read at least a few classmates' postings and then choose 2 and respond to those 2. Sometimes I know that seems tedious and like busy work, but it makes you read other people's postings and gives you different perspectives. And in all, it's a good exercise. It's worthwhile, and it will be required. So if you want full credit for your postings, please make sure that you do that each week. All right, that's it for now. Keep up the good work.